Coach, thank you again for your time. Welcome back. Um, in addition to serving as the head coach at Barstow College, you are also the baseball rep for the conference. Now, tell us a little bit. What does that mean? What are your responsibilities being? Instruct us. Teach me, because I want to know as well.
Yeah. Um, it starts in the fall.
Uh-huh.
We go to the conference coaches meeting with the Triple CBCA where we sit down with the president and
Uh-huh.
they propose things that we need to bring to the state or we need to vote on as coaches with such as playoff decisions, back testing, anything that could go on within the season. Um, so
I
we
don't,
kind of
I don't want to open that can of worms about the bad testing because I've been in a couple of meetings of those, and every single
yeah.
time that issue comes up, I see these.
Yeah, that goes on for a while. But
Yeah,
the nice thing is next year, we're going to be straight underneath the NCAA guidelines of, everybody's got a compression test.
sure.
Some programs chose to do that this year, or some conferences did. Some conferences, like us at the IEAC, we chose to at least ring test before every conference game. Every bat passed, not an issue there. But yeah, when we get all on that same level playing field, and there's nothing to vote on other than hey, this is implemented. This is what we're gonna do. Everybody's gotta be accountable to it. So, um, but yeah, we go into those meetings. We have a really nice dinner, which is nice.
Huh?
um, and then a lot of email chains of this is proposed, this agenda. Um, share this with your conference coaches.
Sure.
A lot of times we need to vote on this, so get your conference coaches consensus. So a lot of emails through the fall of what do you guys think about this? What do you
Mhm.
guys think about that? And then reporting that back to the Triple CBCA.
Sure.
And then organizing a couple meetings. I work with John McHenry, the AD at COSO.
Mhm.
So we work together a lot on that as he's the AD supervision of IEAC baseball, and we come up with ideas together, bounce ideas off each other, come up with ideas for okay, we need to have a meeting with all the coaches. What's our agenda going to look like? What are we going to talk about?
Mhm.
What needs to be, put into the supplements, and just make sure that all that we try and make sure that nothing's left out there in limbo. Um, so we set up a meeting where we met with all the coaches in January right before the season started and got everything situated.
Sure.
And then season started, and then we were supposed to organize a meeting for the end of the year for all conference voting and stuff. So when everything kind of came down to the pike of hey, the season's going to be canceled, it kind of you kind of look at it as okay, what can we do to honor the teams and the players this year? So send out the email of hey, what do you guys think about at least 5 guys from each team getting an IEAC honor? There's no first, second, third team, no honorable mention, but something to honor the guys that stood out. Are guys that help, that were the glue to your teams, just guys that deserve that. We didn't want them to go a year without that opportunity. Everybody was 100% on board, so we'll be collecting those names here soon, so we could kind of get those out to you guys and make sure that they get the IEAC Triple CBCA recognition that they
Absolutely.
deserve. Um, and then other than that, a lot of stuff is just really trying to promote the conference
Of course.
from a coach's side. So honoring players with the player of the week, making sure the coaches polls are in for the voting for the North to South top 20s. A lot of emails going back and forth, and
I
then
see those. I'm in part of those chains.
yeah, so a lot of emails, getting those, getting everything that we have, be able to get the IEAC players of the week, then forward them on to the state so that that our guys can be represented at the state to hopefully get the SoCal Player of the Week and things like that, and build the notoriety of the conference and the
Sure.
players and the coaches.
Well, I think that's the most, obviously safety is always first and foremost. But one of the most disappointing things, as you mentioned, there's a lot of work. It's not just, all right, let's get, two teams out there and throw the ball around and play ball. There's a whole lot of different mechanics that happens behind closed doors in order to make that happen. from eligibility, from
Mhm.
bat testing, from there's thousands of things that go on um, before the first pitch is thrown, and like you said, in addition to the front office side, the players themselves who have put in months and months and months of work. When I get a chance to talk to these players who have been named athletes of the week, 90% of them say, well, it's due to the work that I did in the off season that's given
Yep.
me a chance to be athlete of the week. Working with my dad, working with my coaches, putting the hours in before the season even started, and
Yep.
for that to be stopped obviously is definitely a downside out of this whole thing.
Yep.
But you touched a little bit on the conference, and obviously this is our first year. Looking at it from your angle, and from the results that we have before it was ended, SBVC leading the conference with a
Mhm.
6-1 record, followed by Chaffee, Mount San Jacinto, and Cerro Coso. And the Inland Empire has traditionally always been powerhouses of baseball.
Yep.
What has been your thoughts about the conference, and also, in addition to the players, some of the bright young new coaches that we have in this conference?
Yeah. Um, I was very, I wouldn't say surprised, but I was pleased
Hmm.
to be able to go back to the Triple CBCA and just be excited about what our conference is doing, and the coaches and the players. As you mentioned, SBVC got off to a great start. Hate
Yeah,
to see that end. Chafee, a top 20 team in the state,
yeah,
competing with some of the best.
and,
A
and the top pitcher in the state.
top
Yeah,
pitcher in the country, almost
country.
pretty
That's right.
much.
I'm sorry.
Not
Downplay.
just the
But
state, yeah. So um, to see those shut down is frustrating, especially you got two coaches that are in their first year. My Coach Lonsdale down
hmm
at Mount San Jacinto, and Coach Di Matteo, at Desert. Those guys put in a lot of work to get where they're at and instilled everything. Worked extremely hard for their guys, and will continue to do so. But it's not the first way that you want to go into your first year. I tell guys a lot of times, man, my first year as a head coach last year, I was extremely blessed to,
Yeah, yeah.
to win 20 games, 9 all conference guys, things like that. It just doesn't happen that way.
Sure.
You hope it does for everybody, but that's just going to make them that much more hungry, that much more geared for the recruiting, that much more prepared next year. That when we have that full year, I'm really excited about what the Inland Empire is going to do next year with that much more experience, that much more players groomed and coming back and recruited into these programs. That
Yeah.
it's going to be really exciting. And as a first year conference, kind of piggybacking off the old Foothill,
hmm
um, there's some teams to really watch here. There's a lot of really good players. There's a lot of talented coaches. There's a lot of passion. I would say that's the biggest thing I saw at this conference this year is just the passion
Yeah.
within every program. Uh, just the relentlessness to. I mean, I never saw a team on the field give up in any games we
Yeah.
were playing. I mean, it was just what our coaches have instilled into these young student athletes
hmm
um, to compete all 9 innings. Unfortunately, we've been on the losing end of some of those because
Those
of
games with you guys over there.
because of the
Yeah.
relentlessness. But it's also it's um, it's fun. It
Yeah.
makes the game fun. It makes the conference fun, and it makes the preparation fun because our guys know what they have to get in for.
Sure. Traditionally, the Inland Empire produces some serious ball players.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Brad Hoyseth over at Saddleback, and is also the SID over at the PCAC, and he was telling me, watch the players that come out of this conference. Um, you know, uh, I believe that the IEC led the SoCal in most players awarded for pitchers of the week. I believe we had 5. We had
Yeah.
Matt Chavez at Mount San
Yeah.
Jacinto, Elias over at Chaffee, Tito, Hernandez, Saracoso, Nate Mendoza, San Bernardino, Fabian Cortez, Mount San Jacinto. Are you familiar with these guys?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about them and why these guys stand out in the conference?
You know, going through the beginning of the conference, we were able to see a little bit of everybody. In fact, we got mashed up where we had to see Elias
Yeah.
and Chafee. and he was tough, man. He's good.
He's good.
His fastball's firm. He
Mhm.
could locate any pitch he wants. Relentless competitor. It was fun to face him,
Mhm.
but you also look on the other side and go, "Come on, man, I don't I don't want to face this guy today."
Yeah.
But no, he was solid all the way to some of the other guys through our conference that got honored with the SoCal Player of the Weeks, as you mentioned, leading the state in that category of recognition. That shows just there's a lot of really talented players. Nate Mendoza, SBC, man, he was doing really good. I think he was 3-0 in conference with a 0.41 ERA in conference.
Wow.
Um,
That's pretty good.
yeah, that's really good. And Tito Hernandez up at Coso, man, that guy's a spark plug.
Mhm.
He's little, but you look at him, and I remember we kind of recruited him a little bit, and
Mhm.
Justice got him, and that's great. But we would sit there, and we knew that regardless of his outcome, man, he was going to grind in that bat. He was a tough out. Um, same with Fabian Correa
Yeah.
at MSJC and Matt Chavez. I mean, those guys, they just they got off to some really good years, especially, Fabian, man, he was hitting 348 through conference with 11 RBIs through just 6 games. I mean, he was off to a great start. That's conference player of the year type numbers to
Yeah.
start off with. So there were some really standout guys doing some really good things. Hope to see them back next year and strap on to compete again.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part about it. I mean, I know there have been some talk about the eligibility, and that's obviously still working itself out, working with the NCAA, the NAIA, all the other divisions, make everything work out, granting eligibility. So yeah, I mean, it would be amazing if these guys came back and show everyone what they're capable of. Just a little point of fact here. I do know that Elias Jaregui from Chappie was getting a couple looks. Have a couple of buddies that are MLB scouts, and they have their eyes on him, they're looking at him. So the quality of players that's in this conference is just amazing. Uh, Coach, again, thank you again for your time. You know, I can't stress this enough that we're all on that mode of trying to figure out what's next. We're waiting for it, and we're all in very unfamiliar territory. Not just the programs themselves, but also as the conference. As the baseball rep for the IEAC, if I were to ask you, hey, give me a message for all the ball players that are out there, what would your message be to all the players and maybe even the programs themselves?
Stay positive, guys. Um, we're all in this together. We're all battling the same fight,
Yeah,
and just as much as we all want to be out on the field, so does everybody else. Everybody wants to get back to their normal life. And with all the new laws that are going to come in that are, kind of restrict us to our house,
hmm
finding ways to stay in shape and monitor nutrition and get ready for, those high school guys coming into the colleges and guys returning or guys moving on. That's going to be a new challenge for everybody. It's going to be a really big challenge for everybody, but we got to stay positive. We got to have faith. We got to continue to know that good things are going to come out of this. As tough as it is, that as a conference, we're going to rebound. We're going to continue to do really good things, continue to serve our student athletes, love on them, prepare them the best we can. And for everybody else that's out there trying to get some normalcy back, it's going to happen. We got to, as a community, we got to do it together. Stop the spread.
yeah.
Do whatever we can.
Stay home.
I'm not a politician. I don't know,
Yeah,
but other
yeah,
than man, there's nowhere else all of us want to be is on that field,
sure.
and we can't do it without getting through this part together.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you again, and we will bounce back. We have Tony leading us, and he's been great with the communication, keeping us all up to date on what's new and what's next. And like you said, we turned the page, and we're all facing this, and let's all support on each other and lean on each other, and let's get back out there sooner than later.